What's up everyone, Jeff Miller here, Pinball Pimp. On this episode, we're going to be shopping out a 1993 Data East Jurassic Park machine. Now I've seen a lot of these machines come through my shop in the last 20 years, and they are always beat to hell, and you can tell they've been played by a million people. Well, I got a call last week from a woman who said her father bought this brand new in 1993, so I just had to go look at it. And boy, it really shows that it looks that new. So, we're going to dive into this thing, get it all shopped out with some new rubbers and some new LEDs, make this thing look new again. So let's go to it. All right, first things first, let's slide the glass off of this thing and take a peek at it and see what we're dealing with. We got some ball dirt on the playfield, but that's typical when these games sit that long. All the plastics look to be in really nice condition, and I don't see any of them that are broken. The ramp is in really nice shape as well with no cracks, and it should clean up flawlessly. The scoops are really nice as well, which means that the game wasn't played that much. By the time I get done polishing this thing out with new rubbers, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So some of the parts we have are a new flipper rebuild kit, all the colored rubbers, there's the nice original manual that came with the game, and of course a full set of colored LED bulbs. The cabinet on this game is absolutely flawless for its age. I don't notice hardly any scratches on the original screen printed art, which is very, very hard to come by on this machine. It will require minimal touch-up to make it look like new again. Now let's take a peek at the inside of this machine and check out the electronics. As you can see, everything looks nice and clean. I don't see one hack on any of the original boards, and all the wires and plugs look like they are new. So this machine is 31 years old, and all they had back then was incandescent bulbs, and that's not going to cut it. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch everything out in the back box to LED bulbs. Then we're going to lift up the playfield and do the same thing to all the inserts. As you can see, this is one of the easiest parts of the job. You just have to unscrew about 37 bulbs and replace them with another 37 LEDs. Okay, before we replace all the bulbs and the inserts, I just wanted to show you what the inside of the cabinet looks like. And you can see that there's hardly any dirt at all, and this thing is just about as clean as they come. The bottom of this Playfield is beautiful. There's no soot or black dust anywhere, and it looks like it almost came out of the factory. For a machine that's 31 years old, you usually don't see them in this nice a condition very often. All right, time to change out all these old incandescent bulbs with color LEDs in all the inserts. Should take me around 2 hours, but when I'm done, this machine will be 3 times brighter. All right, well, I've got about 10 bulbs that are underneath this subway that I can't get my fingers in to get to. So I need to take this off anyway and clean it. It's not that dirty, but once I get that off, we can get these other 10 or so bulbs in, and that'll just about finish up the bottom of the Playfield. All right, now that I have the subway removed, it's time to take out the screws and take off the cover plate. I'll get this thing in the wash tub and get all the dust off of it. Then I'm ready to do a little polishing. I'll take my Novus fine scratch remover polish and get this thing slicked up and crystal clear. Then we can get it put back on the bottom of the Playfield. All right, I've got all the LEDs installed on all the inserts under the Playfield, and it looks so much better. So the next thing we're gonna do is start tearing the Playfield down, new rubbers, polish it up. She's gonna look gorgeous. All right, so I got all the new LED bulbs installed in all the inserts on the bottom of the playfield. I also went and installed all the flashers as well that I could get to. I took the subway off, I cleaned it, I polished it, I put it back on. So now the next thing to do is tackle the top side and start tearing down this playfield. All right, here we go again. The start of the long process to tear this entire playfield down. If I had $1 for every screw I removed off a pinball playfield, I'd be a multi-millionaire by now. Now that I have all the screws removed, I can get this main ramp off the playfield and out of my way. I'll do the same by removing the apron as well. Next, I'll tear off all the lane guides and the slingshots, get them into the wash tank and get them cleaned up. Now that everything's out of my way, I'll use a little spray cleaner and a toothbrush to get the majority of dirt off the playfield. Next, I'll use my magic eraser and alcohol to take the playfield all the way back down to the clear coat where it looks nice and shiny and not one speck of dirt. And the final step is to polish this playfield out to a nice, bright, slick shine with some Novus 2 playfield polish. So here's the ramp. It's not too bad. It's a little dull where the ball's been going up it for 30 years, but compared to most ramps, this thing is really nice and it'll clean up nice and shiny. When you hear that squeak, you know it's cleaning up nicely. All right, so I cleaned the ramp and then I polished it. And then I flame polished it, so it looks crystal clear again. You gotta watch it. You don't want to melt the plastic when you hit it with the flame. All right, it's day 2, and the plan today is to finish this Jurassic Park machine up before it's beer 30. So, yesterday I got all the color LEDs installed on the bottom of the playfield. I cleaned the subway. I got the main ramp all taken off, cleaned, polished up. Then I stripped down the lower playfield, got all those parts cleaned, hardware polished up. So we're gonna put all that back on this morning. Then we're gonna go ahead and tear the rest of the playfield down, get new rubbers on it, polished up, get it put back, and that'll pretty much finish up this machine except for a few small details. All right, before I start tearing everything off the top of the playfield, I'm going to reinstall the lane guides in the slingshot area with brand new clear post, colored LEDs, green rubber, and new lock nuts to finish it off and make it look super nice. Okay, now I'm going to start tearing everything off the top of the playfield. It's pretty much self-explanatory, just a hell of a lot of screws and a lot of polishing to make this thing look new again. Just sit back and watch the evolution of this 65-million-year-old machine. All of the original hardware took a bath in evapo-rust. Now it's all nice and shiny, and I can start reassembling the right side. Look how nice, bright, and shiny all those parts look. And the green and blue rubbers are the icing on the cake. Now that the right side has been put back together, it's off to the left side and start tearing down the pop bumper area. It's just amazing how nice the original parts are on this game. When you get a game this nice, it usually doesn't take as long to get everything cleaned up and put back together. Just a few more pieces of plastic to screw down, and we're almost finished with this game. Install the LED bulbs in the pop bumper bases and reattach the pop bumper caps. Now we can drop the main ramp back on the playfield, and we're almost complete with this project. I'll reattach the wire form and the plastic cover on the right side, and this playfield is back together. So now that I'm finally done with the playfield, I decided to buy me a little mini jungle, and I'm going to do a little model painting, and then I'm going to put this inside on the playfield and pimp it out. All right, now that I have the playfield done, I lifted up the hood and we're gonna do a flipper rebuild kit on the 3 flippers, and we're gonna replace the mechanism on the vertical up kicker. So let's get wrenching. The coils on this game look absolutely fine, but I did want to do a flipper rebuild kit because the plungers sometimes have some slop in them, and that makes less power on the flippers. So we just go ahead and change all these out to new parts, and it's like having a brand new game. Well, I thought I was done, but this game has 3 flippers, so I'm gonna have to do it one more time. As for the vertical up kicker, the plastic saucer that holds the ball had some fins that were worn down, and when it kicks the ball to the top of the playfield, sometimes it was misaligned. I'll put a brand new saucer on to get everything aligned properly, and this thing will function like new. I soldered on 2 new leaf switches for the inside flipper buttons in the cabinet to make the tension on the buttons feel the same on both sides. I added a custom LED mod to the shooter lane plastic and reinstalled the apron. And of course, a few of my custom designed instruction cards. Well, now that I have the machine completely finished, it's time to pimp it out even more. So a few weeks ago, I ordered some inner art blades and a speaker frame decal, which is gonna make this thing look even better. So we're gonna go ahead and install these on the inside, which look really good. They match the artwork from the factory. And then we're gonna put on a speaker panel up here, which will really make this pop. So let's get putting these things on and make it a one of a kind. All right, now comes the fun part. I get to pimp this thing out and make it look better than the factory ever imagined. The reason I love these art blades so much is the artwork matches the factory Playfield and plastics like it was made for the game. A little alcohol on a paper towel to clean off the speaker panel before I install the decal. This decal comes with removable adhesive on the back, so if you don't get it lined up right the first time, you can peel it back off and reposition it until you get it right. All right, so I got the inner art blades in and they look great. What a really nice match to the factory artwork. And that speaker decal looks excellent as well. So now we just got a few more things to put on the playfield. We'll finish this thing up. All right, now to installing that mini jungle that I painted up about a week ago. I always thought this machine had a lot of bare spots in it, and these palm trees are gonna fill them in nicely. I was also able to find some miniature dinosaur figurines coming out of an egg. I put a Tyrannosaurus Rex and a Velociraptor in the respective areas, and it filled in the space nicely. And I finished it off with an official Matchbox Jurassic Park Jeep from the movie. Alright, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I love my speaker light kits. So let's get a pair installed on this game. I also made some custom warning decals for the inside of the light kit so you can see them from the outside of the machine. Look how amazing that back panel looks now compared to the original black plastic. Alright, well, Jurassic Park is finally finished and it looks spectacular. I brought this dinosaur 65 million years into the future, put a few small little additional touches on it, and it looks better than new. So now all we have to do is go check it out. Well, there you have it. 1993 Data East Jurassic Park in all her glory. I truly brought this machine 65 million years into the future, added a few pinball pimp touches, and it is a definite one-of-a-kind machine. Sometimes you get damn lucky and find a machine as nice as this that cleans up better than new. If I had the room, I would keep this machine for myself, but I found a collector who wants it so bad he can hardly stand it. So I guess I know where it's going. Oh, you gotta love it when T-Rex eats the ball. Well, that wraps up another beautiful restoration here at Pinball Pimp headquarters. Be sure and tune in next time when I take another machine like this and turn it into something special. Until next time, keep on flipping, pimp out. If you'd like to see more pinball craziness, be sure to like, tag, share, and follow me at Pinball Pimp.